from Greylock. Not quite at the summit. I believe that's Cheshire.
Morning. This is Cheshire. Okay, what a difference a day makes. So we're going to have rain this morning. I have 2.5 miles, they said, of sort of rocky terrain, particularly rocky terrain. It's supposed to start raining until 10 or 11. It's currently 7:55. We came out early. Not early, but we came out particularly with that in mind, to be able to get through the first 2.5 miles before the rain started, if the rain was going to be true to the predictions. But we may, I don't know, we'll see. Knock on wood. We were just getting little sprinkles there, but you know, sprinkles aren't rain, so we'll see here. And let's see what's going on, because pack is crazy heavy this morning, completely ridiculous, because we're going to be in Adams and then Williamsport or Williamstown, I think. No need to carry all this weight, but as always, I did. So I don't know what I'll do. Of course, water weight's the easiest to get rid of, so I could drop some water off or just camel up and drink a bunch of it. So what are we doing today? Well, you got 6 miles to the first town, and then I think there's a shelter. I think they mentioned there was a shelter at like 14, or actually it wasn't a shelter, it was like a cabin sort of thing, that actually has, you know, showers and everything. Like, it's an actual sort of facility. And then there is a shelter at around 20. So I'm shooting for the shelter. If the day is really miserable, I'll probably stop at that cabin lodge thing. Probably. Okay, so here's a different view. Oh, speaking of that, the view that I told you that I thought we were looking down at Cheshire was actually looking down on North Adams. So we're actually going to descend to the town that I just showed you. So that's our direction of travel today. Tom corrected me on that, so just pass that along to you. I think we'll just go slow and steady today, in all honesty. Yesterday, as I mentioned, it was like 5, let's just say 6 hours, to be conservative, to do 17.5 miles. So you can see the speed, but I was jogging for quite a bit of that, and I was moving very quickly pretty much the whole day. I did get tired towards the end. My legs got tired. But as soon as I got off the hill, they recovered very quickly. Took a shower. Oh my God, that was beautiful. So last night at the Tom's, I was met up by my hiking crew. So Webster and Torino and Spider all came in today or yesterday and stayed last night at Tom's. Then in addition to that, Bags, Clockwork, who I hadn't seen in forever because he was flying and then injured himself, Armor, and some young guy, I can't remember what his name is. They stayed at the Shamrock Inn. So that was pretty cool to... Now they're all 17 and a half miles behind me because of my hike yesterday. But that's not very far, it's not even a day they're behind. So I could slow up just a little bit and they could speed up just a little bit and we would be on time together. So I'll coordinate with them. The issue though is that you'll recall that Webster's family just came out. Well, now Torino's family is coming out. So it's sort of like, what's the point of slowing down to have them catch up when Torino and Webster are just going to turn around and start taking, zeros and Neros and short days and everything with Torino's family. So I'm sort of inclined maybe not to do that, and maybe we could just let the Slinky put us together like it did this time, where they're coming out, say, a gap earlier than I was coming out, and we could get together in the evening. So yeah, we could definitely do that. It'd be fun to hike with Bags and Clockwork for a while. They would be worth slowing down to have them catch up. But I don't know if they're a tramily, they may not want the interjection of a third wheel or fifth wheel or whatever I would be. So I'll just keep hiking my hike, still doing 20s. And if a lot of these guys live up to what they've been doing, they will catch up to me over time because they're doing 23s, 25s, or whatever. And now that I don't have a hiking partner to adjust my schedule, I'm sort of shooting for 20s again. Well, this is a milestone because Notch Road, if you'll recall, was that 3 miles where the first 2.5 were supposedly the rockiest. Maybe it's all perspective, it was hardly rocky at all. It is now 9:11. So what did I say it was? 7:55. So let's just say 8 o'clock, 8 to 9. That was an hour and 17 minutes for 3 miles. That's how rocky it was. So I would suggest that you have a pretty nice downhill coming off of Greylock, and you should enjoy it. This is the view from the Mount Prospect Ledge. So I believe again that that would be Adams, North Adams or Adams. It is very pretty. Look at that. Think back to like Virginia, where you had those sort of small rolling hills in the pastures, pretty much horse country, carved out of those beautiful sort of eastern woodlands. Here you see the same, but I don't know if you can tell, those are sheep down in that pasture right smack dab in front of you. And if you go over a little bit to that triangular pasture there, more sheep. So this is obviously a lamb wool producing area. But look how the mountains just go on and on and on. I hope that you can see that, I hope. Can you imagine what it's gonna be like to see Katahdin for the first time sitting in the background like that? It's gonna be epic. So I would have to say that the backside or downside Nobo of Greylock is a breeze. Well, it's not just Greylock, right? That is friggin' cool. So I'll call it the backside of Greylock simply because, I haven't been paying that close attention. I think it's also like Mount Prospect or something also. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say it's this space between Mount Greylock and North Adams. It's really nice trail. Let's see, where am I going? Oh, well, there it is, right there. So I'll have to look at the town and see how it's laid out. I mean, this lady has bicycles. I'm gonna go down here just because I want to show you these bikes. I think that this would be valuable for you guys to have experienced. So look how cute this little neighborhood is, first and foremost. So there are 4 bikes right there that you can take and just go through town as you want. It's obviously spread out, and so they want to encourage people to take the bikes and to go exploring. This was sort of an interesting cut through. Thought I'd show you. So this literally goes up, AT literally goes up this guy's driveway, and he put a little hose bib out there. He was like, please help yourself to the water for the AT hikers. And then you come through here, it's clearly an easement. I mean, again, what a super, just guy. He just, for nothing, he just does that for the good of the hikers. So let's see what we got here. So that Seth Warner Shelter is short of where I'd like to go. So that's 7 miles. I think mine, oh, don't forget the Vermont state line there. Don't overlook that. That's me, 4.1. But I'm looking to go to the next, I think it's Congdon or something like that, shelter. So that would be about 11 miles. Well, this is an indicator we're getting back in the hills. We haven't had one of those since Exposed Ridge Trail. Can't remember if that was in Tennessee, I think. Might have been North Carolina, where the ATC actually sanctioned a bad weather trail. And back then, it was that snowy, blizzardy, freezing cold day. I don't know, just off the top of my head, seemed like it was pretty close to 2,000 feet from where we start to where we end up. So yeah, you could definitely get changing weather in that distance. The weather's actually, you know, I sort of hate to say it, it's sort of nice now. It's cool and damp, but it keeps spitting rain. So every time it does, I think, oh, I need to go to my poncho because it's really going to rain this time. And I've soaked myself wearing that damn poncho to absolutely no end. All right, I'm gonna take my time going up this thing. Okay, I'll admit it, that the intervening months from the time we did the elevations in North Carolina and Tennessee to now have definitely impacted my ability to climb these elevations, particularly so sharply. You know, you'd like to think that 3 ridges and everything would have kept you pretty good, but I'm just telling you. And some advice for everybody behind me. When you come out of North Adams, be light. I don't care what you have to do in North Adams. Throw the shit away. Do not resupply. Have just what you need. Just exactly. If you're gonna do 2 days, have 2 days and nothing else. Because this is rough. All right, welcome to Vermont. Okay, Vermont, 10 miles I've got. Show us why everybody loves you. So, we're in the last 3, guys. We're in the last 3. We're under 600 miles. And we are in this final third, the final leg of this journey. Oh, and some other good news. You know, we sort of lost shortcuts. He had injured his foot. He wasn't coming up on the sort of trampoline net, and we didn't know where he was. Well, it turns out that he was right behind us, and he walked into Dalton this morning, just as we all left. He's been doing 20s, and he's right on top of us. So we have everybody but Turmoil and Mongrel right all within, I would say, 15 miles of each other. Okay, a couple of observations in Vermont. One is, this is why Vermont is Vermud. So today they were calling for rain all day. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, then it was 11, then it was 1. It didn't rain until literally you saw me shoot the video going into Vermont. By the time I hit that second sign that you see in the background, it was raining. Okay. The second thing is you can see that there's a lot of those low spots already. I've had 5 or so of those, and I haven't been in here very long. And yeah, when that water hits it, it's gonna turn into mud. I mean, it's already soft, very soft, but we haven't had rain in weeks. So, yep, I think that's gonna live up to its reputation. Another milestone. And this is a big decision point for me. It's 4:15. I could just slide into the Seth Warner shelter and drop here at 13 something, or I can do 7.2. Even at 2 miles an hour, that would put me in at about 7:30, 7:45. It doesn't get dark till 9 something. So I guess I'll do the 7.2. Okay. According to Guthook, this is the summit of something. I assume it's Green Mountain because it's the Green Mountain National Forest. But unfortunately, it's not actually labeled itself. But having risen, like I said, believe a couple thousand feet, I think I can give an honest first impression of Vermont, and with some credibility, because this was a many-mile climb, and I'm sure we need the trail because it's going to play into it. So, like I said, in my comments coming into Vermont, and how it was described as, the favorite trail of a number of people, my summation of thus far, I will caveat it, thus far, of Vermont is that it fucking sucks. Why does it suck? Fucking mud bogs all over the place. So it's Vermud. Ooh, that's cute. Look at this. See how the trail is overgrown and has been growing into itself? Let me tell you, it's a lot narrower than this. Throughout most of the hike up Green Mountain, it was narrow like this, just getting ticks wiped on from both sides. Look at the trail. See how it is? So you remember back coming off of the roan, and then we had those, I don't know if they were little roans or whatever they were, and there were those deep rutted paths that people had walked in, and then they became secondary ones right next to it because they were almost impassable because of the rocks and the roots that had been, of course, all the soil had been removed. So it was these god-awful rocks and roots in these very narrow troughs that you were supposed to walk through. And so people just walked around them. They were so obnoxious. Well, that is exactly what Vermont has done. So Vermont has not cut back and done trail maintenance on any of this trail because I know exactly why. They don't want, if they cut that back, they know people are going to walk around this trough that you're walking through. And you see this? It's of course, you know, you get wider here. Believe me, you know what the deal is. You're going to see it, I guarantee you, all the way through this state, because you don't do this shit, you know, as a one-off. So there's this deeply eroded, deeply rutted path that goes to the middle, and then they're not cutting any of the vegetation back. So you're basically wading through it with all of the bug issues, and of course now the water issues and everything. And they're doing that intentionally, willfully. So the game is on. I mean, how long have we been in here? And I'm not kidding you, I'm soaking frigging wet from all of the branches. I pulled 2 ticks off of me already. I haven't had a tick. I had 1 tick. Good God, was that like in Pennsylvania or something? Haven't had a tick. I've had 2 since I've been through here. Because the foliage goes right up all, and you're just wiping all of this onto, and of course that's where they sit. I'll eat my words, believe me, with joy. And an ice cream sundae. If this changes, and this is unique to this particular section of the trail. But I don't see the behavior here being a one-off. Yeah, so this shelter, you know, this happens, it's the weekend, so the place is packed. So anyway, it's just one of those things. The problem is I'm a lot closer to Route 9 than I thought, so as a consequence, you know, you'll get Soboers coming from Route 9, you know, doing all of, you know, 4.3 miles to get here. So anyway, this looks like a spot. I'll use it. And then we will see you in the morning.